Welcome back to a self-empowered YouTube channel. My name is Jeanette, or you can call me Jay. I'm an empowerment coach, a soul journey mentor, and a personal autonomy advocate. Today's pick a card reading is what is your healing journey? I absolutely love doing these pick a card readings. They mean so much to me. I always advise my clients to use these as validation of what you already know to be true, that deep-seated intuition that you have in you. Some things may resonate in the moment. You might hear them and say, that's spot on. That is absolutely what's coming up for me. And some things might not. In those moments where something doesn't really hit, a gentle reminder to just stay open and curious. Not all information that comes through is going to resonate in the moment. And it actually might be you going through your daily life before something hits, something you heard in a video that you say, oh, that's that thing. So remaining open and curious to seeing how your days unfold, how the message here unfolds for you is always a good practice to have. In everything in life, really. Just being open and curious and really looking for a better understanding to the things that are coming up in your life in a way that's helpful to you. I am always reminded when I work with my clients that the things that come into our lives are They're here to heal us. They're here to present opportunities for our soul growth. Healing is a word I do not take delicately. In fact, I'm even surprised I'm doing this pick a card reading today. But I am reminded that healing comes in so many different forms. And it's here for us to grow. It doesn't have to be huge and profound. Sometimes it's as simple as a notice in your body that you might have a feeling of, no, I actually don't want to go out tonight. It might be as simple recognizing what your body feels like when something is out of alignment for you. That's actually healing. Sometimes it's grand. It's this big journey that your soul's been going on in this current lifetime about understanding your life lesson. Do you have a life lesson around trust? Are you learning different? Are you having different experiences so that you can learn how to trust more in your life? Or learn how to regain trust after losing trust in a job, in a partnership, in a friendship, in the world? So healing can be very, very small, and healing can be really big. But everything that comes into the space of your life is here for your growth and your development. Your soul wants these opportunities. And the more you realize it, the more you can partner and co-create with the lessons you're learning. You can co-create with your healing journey. It is truly a partnership of all things, of ourselves, of our souls, of divine guidance, of the people in our lives. All these pieces go together. Of our bodies, the wisdom that's all around us. So with that, we are going to get into the reading today. Just a gentle reminder, I have included a few links below of ways you can find me and work with me. I would love to meet you and love to work with you. So please go ahead and take a look there. You can also subscribe. I've got more videos coming, and I would love for you to be able to get that notification and find me again. So with that, let's get to the pick a cards. Welcome, Pile 1, to your pick a card reading for What is My Healing Journey? I've got your Akashic records open. I've gotten a lot of little intuitive hits through the records, but I'm going to go ahead and look at the cards and see what those are saying today. So we're looking at your healing journey. What is your healing journey? And we have the tarot cards here. High Priestess. We are looking at the Ace of Swords here for clarity and Ace of Wands for energy. Wow, aces. The first thing that kind of came through to me when I had the records open for pile 1 was this solidarity, this kind of presence. I'm really tapping into that center line. What's interesting as I'm looking at these cards, the words are just kind of coming to me now, but we see that sword, we see that wand, and it's got like this center line imagery here. So let's just take an even better look at that here. What I'm getting is that your healing journey is all about tapping back into your power, manifesting what you are called to do and really bringing that to life. There's so much. I mean, this card says energy, but I feel so much energy with my pile 1s. My pile 1s have a lot of capacity to create the life that they want. Their healing journey is going to be around really getting clear about it, what they want to put their power into. At power or energy, what do they want to put their energy into? You might say, how is that healing? How's that a healing journey? I don't know if you're saying that, but if you are saying that, healing is presented to us in so many various ways, right? And what can be more healing than figuring out our purpose in life, to finding a direction in our life? And there's a power in this High Priestess card. Like even the way she's sitting on the throne and the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords, we're seeing this kind of real center focus on your center line, on really being present and whole and grounded into your power. So I also pulled another oracle card here called Soul Gifts and Training. It's time to step up. This does not surprise me one bit when it comes to my pile 1s. There is a call to you to find your path, to let go of the things that don't serve you and really step into your power, step into that center line, connect with those soul gifts, that power. Maybe you're a spiritual person, or maybe you're looking into going to kind of a spiritual practice. I would say that this is saying that you've got inherent soul gifts that you can connect with. And it's saying now is the time to really embrace that, to really go after that inherent soul level gift that you have. What's holding you back? What is keeping you from getting there? Let's take a look. I'm going to go ahead and pull some oracle cards around what might be keeping you from progressing in your healing journey. For pile 1, what is keeping you from progressing in your healing journey? We have patience. This resonates for me on a personal level. There is such a force in your tarot cards. And when we are pushing for an outcome, we often don't receive the outcome. It's almost like we're working against ourselves. I don't always like use the term divine timing, but there is a path and a time for things. And when I see what needs to be healed is patience, I see that my pile 1s they may not want to wait. They may be sick of waiting. Maybe they've had to wait a lot. Maybe they've done self-work and they're tired of staying in that space. They really are ready to kind of bring forth what they feel called to bring forth. Back to being called to step up. But a lot of times there are still pieces of our healing journey that need to surface in order for us to fully embody the healed journey and to kind of step into our new place. I think patience is hard, right? Especially if you've started to have energy and clarity around what you want. How do you stay in that space of patience? But presence works too. I like to think of my pile 1s also. Maybe some of you are peeling back the onion, right? You're peeling back the self-journey work. Maybe you've done a lot of self-journey work. And you're peeling back the layers and you're saying to yourself, but I've done all the work. Why is there still more to be healed? Why can't I just receive what I want to receive? 4 of Wands. The 4 of Wands. What else is present? For this card, I'm seeing that a few things here. One being that you need to celebrate all the progress you have made. I think we can soak into patience more by acknowledging that it is a journey, that it's not just about we get there and it's done. It's about all the experiences along the way. And each of these experiences are helping us refine our purpose in life and get more clear. You might say to yourself, I've had so many jobs. Like, why can't I just find the thing for me? And sometimes what we fail to allow ourselves to celebrate, which is that each one of those got us even more clear on who we are and what we want to do, what really serves us. So I just saw 444 on my audio recorder. So just in case that number means something to you, and I'm just noticing we have the 4 of Wands here. So maybe that means something to you. Oh, and there's another 4 hands. So we got 4 here, we got 4 hands, we got 4 wands. So that might mean something to you. And so you might be seeing more 4s, but your healing journey is about calling your power in, calling your purpose in, calling your gifts in. It's also about finding the patience to allow yourself to go through the journey, finding the patience or pause to celebrate the victories. You might also, the Four of Wands could also symbolize group connection, group work. Maybe there is some healing. Maybe part of your journey is also healing how you handle your power and presence in group settings. So that's just kind of coming to me. That might not be for everyone. Maybe you find that I could see this as two ways. There could be some people who are tuning into pile one that are struggling to break free from the group and claim kind of their own power. I can also see, and I see that goes back to that center line, I can also see some of my pile ones really kind of overwhelmed by the power inside them and the energy that they have, and they just don't know how to incorporate that into group settings. That could be even group work. If you're doing group work with clients, how do you hold your energy and provide a service to others in those dynamics? You know, there's some people who I think are really good at talking at people. So they might be good at podcasts or doing YouTube videos or various things like that. But when it comes to the actual integration, the work that you're doing one-on-one or group work with people, that's where it becomes harder for them, because they come from it's coming to me. So I want to say like a self-centered space, but I think there's a better way to say that, a self-focused space. And I think they might struggle to find how they can be inspirational, but also give space to others. I hope that makes sense. That might not make sense. Maybe re-listen to this later and see if it makes sense to you. But it's when I have the records open, I'm in this space, I like to kind of just allow my mind to kind of flow where it's going to go, because I know that message might serve somebody here. And I think that's really what we're here for, right? Is to serve as many as possible that are viewing this. I feel like the letter P has been coming through a lot through my pile ones. So presence was a strong word when I opened the records. We see High Priestess on the table here. We also see patience. I don't know if that means anything to people, but I want to share that. I've got some oracle cards in my hand, some things to, how do we nurture ourselves during this time, during our healing journey? And by the way, healing never ends. I hate to tell you that. Our soul is here to grow. So there's always going to be opportunity to heal, to work through your healing, to acknowledge your healing. Healing can be small. It can be subtle. It can be as little as just noticing the shifts in your body, your mood around things in your life. It can also be super, super big. It could be this huge thing where maybe some of my pile ones have been keeping their light hidden and not shining their light, not feeling their center strength of that center line. And maybe they're going through a huge transformation where I'm just seeing this image of your chest, like your chest line just like cracking open. And or opening, I shouldn't say crack, but just really just being pulled open, and your light, like beautiful, beautiful white light, kind of blue white light, just like shining through the center of you. Some people are going through that transformation, and I am so glad that image has been brought to my mind, because I think that is really powerful. And I think that's going to work to teach you the nuances of tapping into your power, because we've been conditioned to believe power. Oh, power. That's another P word. I don't know what's going on here. But we've been taught, I shouldn't say taught, but like conditioned to have beliefs around what power means. I like to think of it as just strength, as just personal strength, drive, energy, motivator. I think that's ways we can look at it. So what can help my pile ones on their healing journey? That finally came out. Worthy. I know my own worth. Change me, divine beloved, into one who knows my own worth. Let me feel entitled to speak my truth with love. May I know that I deserve to be surrounded by those who value me. I am always amazed by the cards that come out. This whole thing is amazing me right now. But this one in particular, I feel like speaks volumes to this center line that we were talking about here. This power, and then also how we step into spaces with others when we are trying to be in our empowerment, when we are trying to feel confident in a way that is still and present. And it comes back to this worth, like believing in yourself, the healing, all of this, all of what you are manifesting in your life, all that you're going through in your healing journey truly comes back to whether you believe you're worthy. That is what you're trying to heal. That's what you're trying to learn. How do you know you're worthy? What is some examples of how you have felt worthy in your life? And if worthy's hard to access right now, how about accepted? We could start there. How in your life have you felt accepted? If accepted isn't easy to access in this moment, let's go one step underneath that and say, or above that, I should say, and how have you felt seen in your life before? In your energy, in your ability to manifest. Those are all might be stretches, or it might be fun to play with those questions and see what comes out. All of this stuff is just presented to you as ways to work with your life and think about things differently, kind of change your perspective. I'm hoping to a little bit interrupt your perspective, because what happens to us in life? We sit here and we get stuck in our loops. And questions are good because it makes us, maybe it interrupts our flow and it makes us think, oh, let me think over here. I've been thinking over here. I've been stuck in the loop. And I'm just pulling another card here to see what is a tool we can give to our pile ones to help them on their journey. Inner voice. inner voice. I also had soul love that fell out on the bottom there. So I'm going to hold it over here on the side. But really, what is a tool? Your inner voice, that intuition, those intuitive and subtle hints that we get when we allow ourselves the space to listen to ourselves. How do you work with your healing journey? Tapping into that inner voice. For those, maybe it's about soul love. Maybe it's about loving your journey, allowing yourself to love that your soul is going through these experiences. I know. Maybe some of you are saying, you're crazy. I can't believe you would expect me to love the bad things that have happened to me in my life. Love that my soul has called this in for me to experience. It seems kind of counterintuitive that we would love our hard experiences, but that is part of the healing, is to not resist or judge our experiences, but to really allow ourselves to recognize that our soul is growing, and it does not grow without challenges. It does not grow without experiences that are tough. And the more you can bring in love and invite love and not fight yourself, but really honor yourself and honor your experiences, the more you can start to co-create with your soul's calling, your soul's purpose. You have gifts. You'll access those gifts more easily when you stop resisting yourself, stop fighting against yourself, and start loving yourself. That's just the reality. I said to someone recently, why are you so hard on yourself? Everybody in the world is self-focused. And nobody else is gonna it. Yes, we experience love. Yes, we experience beautiful things in our life and connection. But why do you choose to not be a fan of your life, be a fan of your soul, be a fan of yourself? Because everyone else is going to be focused on themselves. So why not give that praise to you? Why not allow yourself the space to be like anybody can be against you? And it's so much harder to convince people to be for you. So why be one more person against you? You know what I mean? It's kind of what I'm trying to get at. Why be one more thing that opposes you? Why not start from a place of love? And that has a way of just kind of feeding out. You ever see those people that are so confident and someone might say, well, I don't know why they're so confident. And it's like, well, you start to take it as a fact. You're like, oh yeah, well, there must be something about that. I mean, listening, loving yourself, loving your soul's journey, really connecting to that inner wisdom and voice. And I just saw 444 on my timer as well. So I don't know. Maybe that means something to you again. I want to mention that. But with this, I just want to say thank you so much to my pile ones for being present today, for calling in that center line and knowing that that is also part of the goal here, that you are on a healing journey to really connect with that power that comes from that center line. So that is it for my pile ones. Thank you so, so much for being here. Until next time, I will see you soon. Bye. Welcome, pile 2, to your pick a card reading. I have your records open, already feeling lots of different things. Feels like there is a lot that wants to be vocalized here. One of those things being, I was feeling, as I was opening your records for pile 2, feeling a sensation around my right eye, kind of down the right part of my forehead, down my eye, kind of like at a diagonal line. I also noticed some chest tightness and some kind of like shallow breathing. So those were the first two things that came through. I am always reminded that when I start to feel those sensations, I'm connecting with people who might be more in tune, where they might be more clairsentient. So really gifted with communication through their emotions and their body. So let's go a little further in case you don't know what that means. That means you might be somebody who gains intuitive hits or wisdom through their emotions or through their body. It might also mean that you struggle. How do I want to say this? You struggle with your physical wellness because you might feel a lot. So people who might be highly sensitive or empaths might have tuned into pile 2, because there is, what I'm getting is like there's a bit of like a manifestation of the mental with the physical. So things bypassing your conscious mind, whereas like you're not thinking you're stressed, but you're feeling you're stressed. You're not thinking you're sad, you're feeling sad. Let's talk the positive too. You may not be thinking you're happy, but your chest might feel open. Your shoulders might be more relaxed. So, those are cues to us that that's kind of information that we're getting. Intuitive hits, all these pieces are really, really powerful for sharing information. So that's, a couple of the things that were coming through to me. But besides that, right as I was opening the records, I noticed this. It kind of makes me think of like Tinkerbell or a fairy of some kind. And I saw this kind of childlike face and like something rolling down the nose with like a fairy at the end, like kind of tapping the tip of your nose. And it's like you're wake, and it was like the image I got was like the person was like kind of waking, but this look of amazement and wonder. And I don't quite know what that all means yet. But I definitely noticed a lot with this pile too. A lot happening in the head area. And I've had some technical issues here too. So I'm kind of curious how that all kind of falls into this. But with all that, let's go ahead and look at the cards that came out. We are looking at your healing journey. So we have Princess of Cups, Dreams. We have Princess of Wands, Exploration. 2 princesses have come out. We have Beginnings in reverse. And we have another card here, Control. So King of Cups in reverse. Control in reverse. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's explore what this means, right? So what I'm getting is this is kind of your healing journey outlined in a way. But the thing that is really interesting to me is that we have the beginnings and control in reverse. So, and then we have the Princess of Cups and Wands here with dreams and exploration. So to me, what I'm kind of gaining from this is that your healing journey is a lot about kind of like self-control and trying to manage yourself, whether that be in control of your emotions, whether that be in control of the world around you. And also the impact that has in your ability to really just kind of be open and free and explore. But with, speaking of, with exploration and dreams, I'm seeing that as maybe like the deep seated desire that your healing journey, going on this healing journey, will get you to. Maybe there's a deep desire to be more free, to explore, to do things, nomad is coming in my mind. Maybe you're somebody who really kind of looks at people who live that kind of lifestyle with curiosity and interest, thinking also like, I don't know if that could ever be me. But what I'm really seeing with these two cards here is that this is what actually needs to shift in your healing, right? Like learning to kind of find that peace and not trying to manage everything around you in a kind of like hypervigilant way. You've been using these tools as a way to keep yourself safe. And there is this other desire, this other thing that really matters and that wants to come to life. Like what I'm getting right now is that you're not living your whole self. You're just not living your whole self. If this card was upright, I would take it as you're really a master of your emotions. And I don't think you are. And I don't think that's a bad thing, especially if I'm getting what I was getting at the beginning, where there's a lot of like connection to emotions, right? So what I'm getting right now is like, in order to heal, you want to be able to kind of flow with the emotions and actually really kind of learn to embrace them in a way that you can use them as tools in your life. Because I think that my pile twos are very intuitive. They are very good at tapping into sensations in their body and their emotions. And I am getting right now that you maybe judged that a lot. Like maybe you're like, that's bad. I don't like this. I don't like the way this feels. I feel like I'm all over the place. I can't be free-spirited. I need to have some measurement and control in my life. And you've been trying to figure out how to do that. And you have been trying to do that. And it's like you're overcorrecting. Instead of really understanding how to work with yourself, you're kind of working against yourself. Because when you're growing up, that is it's an easier tool to access, especially in our society. There's a lot of sense of there's a lot. I just feel so expressive in pile 2 than I have been in pile 1, but I'm just getting hit with this like really powerful notice that we live in a society, and I don't know who's viewing this, so this might be slightly different for wherever you are in the world, but I think we live under variations of, we're going to give you the information that's easy to explain and manage. But life, there's a lot of nuances to our lives and to the way we are. And it's not always so simple. And yet it is. But what I mean by that is, it's not about shutting down the way we feel. It's about riding that path and creating that path, those emotions and feelings to be wisdom. Don't dismiss it. Communicate with it. What does it mean when you're feeling this way? I was just working with a client recently, and it's like whatever comes into the space for like to provide information. And we are so quick to label things as good and bad without really just understanding that everything is, I love this Shakespeare quote, but like nothing is good or bad. It's just thinking that makes it so. I know I'm messing that up, but it's one of my favorites because our minds and the way we believe things to be good or bad is what actually kind of, makes it that way. So, control is good and bad. But, what I'm getting with my pile too is it's kind of how you work with it, And I don't even as I say that, I'm like, well, control, I don't know. But there's such a polar energy with my pile twos where I'm sensing there's a lot of desire to be free, but also really scared and unsure of what that really means for them. Yeah, so with that, let's go ahead to another oracle card that I pulled. Okay, so we have loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. And you can replace God with whatever resonates for you. The divine, the universe, your higher self, your guides, whatever that means. I love higher self because I think, I don't know, that always feels really empowering to me. It feels like you, but it feels like a wiser you, right? Like a you that we kind of long to connect to because we know that higher self has a little more perspective, has a higher perspective. Yeah. So this is really powerful. Loosen your grip, and we've got control in reverse. And it makes me think that too, like, yeah, maybe this, I mean, I think I was kind of saying that, but maybe for my pile twos, there's a lot of like trying to manage your emotions was a way of coping instead of using it as a tool in a way that's empowering to you. You've been trying to tighten your grip. You've been trying to manage things. Maybe you have challenges with some form of addiction. Maybe you desire like to escape or numb out as a way to cope. This is saying like open yourself up to the divine, opening yourself up to that higher self, that higher perspective, because there's wisdom here. And what I love about my pile twos is they are walking around with a ton of information, and they're just not. And I don't want to say everyone. Some of you might actually already be working in this space, but you might not be. There might be pile twos that have yet to begin this journey work. So you might have some pile twos that have already kind of been, this is validating them because they already kind of know this. They already know their emotions and their physical body is information for them. And maybe this is just validation, and this information is a way to say, hey, yeah, you're on the right path. Keep doing that work because it's really gonna expand your experience in this lifetime. It's also going to continue to heal this kind of old way of being. And then there might be some pile twos that this is kind of like maybe even doesn't even resonate in this moment because you haven't had the time to really take notice of what's happening. You might feel like railroaded by like life and your physical ailments. And you may not realize that all of that stuff is present for a reason. And they're tools that you have been given. Thanks so much. So I I definitely think I've got dreamers on my hand too. You know, I think there's a deep desire to heal yourself from the pains and illness and the burdens that you have felt, or feeling out of control and scared of feeling out of control, and really explore what it means to be in control in a way that is intuitive, that's, healthy, so to speak. And what I mean by healthy is that it's up to you what healthy is for you, but really just what feels uplifting, what gives you energy, what makes you feel expansive. All of those things are kind of what we're going towards. So I want to get another tarot card here, just from another deck here, and see what. Okay, we have the Two of Wands. What I think, the first thing that's coming to me right now in this moment is just like a partnership or co-creation. Just looking at this image, I feel like you can see kind of like divine coming in, higher self coming in, and then there's like these pillars, they're wands, but it feels like kind of like pillars of strength. And I think what's coming also in this moment is just like the two halves of you. And there's like a lot of this, right? Like this side of you and this side of you. It's like, how do you integrate, like, ultimately who you are and what you want to open yourself up to, as well as your kind of like your coping mechanisms, your ways of being, that is just, just kind of keeping you from finding that harmony and expansiveness. I want to go in, like, there's such a rigid energy in my pile twos where, like, part of me feels like, once again, there's just, you haven't gone there yet. You haven't really, maybe you're kind of toying with the idea that there's got to be more than this, or that this way of being isn't working for me, but you fully haven't stepped into it. And like I said, it may not be true. Some of you might already be further down the path. You might be already kind of embodying this energy and the energy of the way you've been and who you're becoming. So I've got kind of like competing thoughts kind of coming into my mind right now. But let's go ahead and get an oracle card. What do you need on your healing journey? What do you need on your healing journey here? Oh. Okay. Well, we have manifest. There is just this, and even in this image, I'm thinking, what an emphasis on the head again. I don't know quite what this head piece is part about. Actually, maybe I do. See, I say that, and I got the records open, intuition's dropping in, information from my guides and the record keepers are dropping in. And I'm seeing this as like, it is all in your head. It is all about shifting your mindset. Manifestation, I have an interesting relationship with the word manifestation. I truly believe, I say this all the time, but I do believe that manifesting for people is gonna look different because, one, everyone has a different healing journey. You're working with your soul. And your soul, everyone's soul story and soul purpose is very different. So there's a lot of people selling manifestation tips out there in the world, and I do think it's a little more complicated. I absolutely believe that manifestation is similar to telling people to try a new diet. Everyone has an idea of what will work, but everyone's journey is different. So everyone's journey with their health and the dieting or whatever that means to you is going to look different. Everyone's bodies are different. Everything that people need, every reason that they're being held back, whether it be mental or physical in their, their health journey, is going to be different. So it's not that one diet works for everyone. It's that everyone will have a different experience with it. And this is the same with manifestation. There are so many factors that go into it. But ultimately, it is a lot about, it's about where your mind is. And really just everything. Your whole being is your mind is just everything, right? And also, I'm just getting dropping in, loosening your grip. It's interesting. We have this kind of bull head skull here, and we have loosening your grip. And there's these polar imageries and words on the table here that are describing both this openness and free spirit, freedom, openness, exploration. We're dreaming, we're fantasizing, we're manifesting. And then there is this determination and this need to kind of keep everything in check and keep things, keep things together. And I do believe that's a coping mechanism. I think your journey with healing, your healing journey is going to be about the nuance. It's about being able to feel safe and secure as you're dreaming, as you're exploring, and not feel like you're losing control of who you are or that you're going to become unsafe. I think that your healing journey will also, where you put your mind will be what you manifest. I mean, that's just that's just the reality there too. So if you think, oh, what I'm feeling is bad or my emotions are bad, you're going to manifest things in a way that will make you only see how it's bad and not be able to see how it benefits you, how it's a tool you can use. I'm just taking a moment to think. I'm trying to remember the card piles I've been using for these. I have so many around me. We're going to look at a tool now. Another tool. Actually, the tool or what's underneath this healing journey. I need more information that wants to come out. Oops. I love this stack. So beautiful. It's a pleasure to shuffle because I get to look at the beautiful artwork. What is a tool? Or what is underneath? This is so this is so ironic. This is the part of my last pile where I was like, what? And now I'm like, what is happening? But sometimes these cards just kind of fit perfectly where they're meant to fit. Honoring, I am kind and loving. Change me, divine beloved, into one who honors my emotions. Let me feel my feelings without judgment and then release them. Show me how to be kind and loving to the child inside who needs care. Wow, I am just I don't know, kind of speechless in this moment. I feel like this card summarizes all that we have been talking about in this pile. We're talking about the feelings, the emotions, the things that are coming, and how to, like, this is what's underneath. This is the tool. Allowing yourself to be in what you're feeling. Allow yourself to expose yourself. And it's not even expose yourself. It's just like that awareness that what you're feeling is there as a benefit to your life, because it's there calling for your attention, calling for it to share its wisdom to you. Whether it's intuition that's coming through your body or your emotions, or if it's just something in you that is out of alignment and you need to find the alignment. So let me feel my feelings without judgment and then release them. That is a way of, like, you're not tightening your grip. You're not trying to do a coping mechanism. You're not trying to escape it. You're actually just learning how to work with it. And you're kind of going through that process. You're honoring who you are as a whole, and just observing, like, that higher self, really observing it, and really just, then you can let it go. You know, we keep ourselves in prison by the way we think. And if we can just allow ourselves to be more open and recognizing that our journey in this lifetime is for our soul growth, it's for our soul evolution. So why are we holding our soul back from fully experiencing things? And I don't mean like go and, go bungee jumping. I mean, why do we shut down our feelings and emotions when they're there as a way to communicate with us? Why can't we honor all of who we are? This tough stuff, the good stuff. The tough stuff's here for our soul growth. I hate to say it, but it is. Your journey is to learn that you have a lot of tools and information all in you. And it's an opportunity to really work with it instead of fighting against it. And we talked about safety here, the child inside me who needs care. So, keeping you safe, the things that you've done in the past to keep yourself safe, isn't serving you, because it's not allowing you to be fully who you are, because I think there's more to who you are deep inside you. And you've been turning your back. Like, I think of this as like turning your back towards a beginning, towards taking the leap of faith. And so let's get some more tools for your healing journey. Wow. Okay. This was underneath. I'm going to keep it over here to the side. So, awakening. So, yeah, my pal twos are going through a wake up period. That actually reminds me so much of the image I got when I opened the records. Oh, I kind of want to re-listen to this video and be like, did I say like waking up? But it's such an image with the kind of fairy at the tip of the nose and kind of just like, boop, just like bumping the nose. And it's like this childlike presence, just opening their eyes, like they're really seeing, like they're seeing like they've never seen before. And I just want to hold space and love for whoever might be on tuning into this pile that might be feeling like this is news to them. That's something I've said has woken them up a little bit. And I think this is so powerful. There's so much light and power. And I would love to hear if there's comments people want to leave in on the video, if there's something that resonated, because I am curious to how this might feel like an awakening for someone right now. If there's something I said that resonated, that makes them kind of open their eyes a little bit more, see things a little bit differently. Is there, do you feel like it's magic all of a sudden? That's kind of awakening you in a way. And then we have healing. Obvious, we've been talking about it, but it's always a good reminder that like all of this is about healing, right? Like there's nothing wrong with any of this. Our soul is not meant to be perfect. It's meant to experience. It's meant to grow. So going through this process is healing. It's evolving. It's growth. It's expanding. You're just getting more equipped, and you're just learning more. And that's all it has to be. So with that, thank you, Pile 2, for being here with me. And yeah, leave me a comment if there's something that really resonated for you. Otherwise, I will see you again. Welcome, Pile 3, to your pick a card reading for What is My Healing Journey? Upon opening the records, I'm definitely getting a lot of masculine energy, just very assertive, kind of even feeling like a bit of like in a rush or hurried. So with that, let's go ahead and rush through this reading. I am just joking. Let's go ahead and pick those first. We have rest and reverse. So 4 of Swords. We have Fortune in reverse. We have the Devil. And we have Vibrancy, the Queen of Wands in reverse. So right off the bat, I'm just kind of noticing like being pulled in 2 different directions is kind of what's coming to me initially. There's a lot of like competing forces. Like I just feel like I'm seeing like all the swords they're kind of meeting at a point, but it makes me feel like there's like 2 sides that are, I know there's 4, but it makes me feel like there's like 2 competing sides. We have the 2 cats here, the horns, even the arms pointed outward in different directions makes me think about these like polar sides. And something that's coming to me is competing priorities. So I feel like my pile 3s are, maybe they are people who take on a lot. Like I said, there was that kind of like fast energy, kind of distracted energy. I could see there being like competing priorities. There's this feeling like a lot of things are important, what to prioritize. And even just like being pulled in 2 different directions. So I really feel like my pile 3s are, I just sense that they're busier people. They've got a lot going on. it's almost the kind of people I would imagine don't even have time to watch this video. And maybe if they are watching this video, they're playing it in their car, they're listening while they're in the shower, or I'm not even sure. But it is kind of funny because I just see my pile threes as like, don't even have time for this, really feeling like there's a lot going on, and really being pulled in two different directions. Like I said, competing priorities. What does that mean? I don't see, it's interesting getting the rest. I don't feel rest. I feel kind of ramped up by opening the records for pile three. And there might be a battle here around how you make your income. I could see that being like part of your healing journey is to, like, maybe one is your, like, just getting this now, but like maybe you feel like you need to have a certain type of job in order to make a certain amount of money, what people might describe as like good money. But there might be other things that really matter to you that are being hidden, or pushed down, I should say, because you don't think you can make money doing it. And it's really interesting. I'm just like observing the imagery on this card. And it's interesting that like this is like what's in the shadows is like a light, I'm just kind of getting that. Whereas, I don't know, I'm this might just need to sit with this for a minute, and I'm gonna actually look at it the other way too. Yeah, I keep getting that play with the two extremes, the two sides. Even with the colors, the two kind of colors coming and contrasting. There's a lot of contrasting. There's a lot of, I think the Wheel of Fortune is indicating that like there is light and vibrancy. Not vibrancy. There's a lot of ways in which we can make money. We can be successful. We can be in good fortune, to however that means to you. But what feels like it really lights you up? Like what feels that, what are you keeping hidden that needs to rise to the surface? And how do you feel in that space? We talk a lot about like shadow and light and our shadow selves. And I think what I'm getting is just that it's not like a shadow self. It's more just recognizing that you can tap in however you want to receive, but it's just going to look different, right? Like your fortune will look different to you depending on how you tap in, what you guide yourself towards, or how you do. I just feel like my pile threes just feel like I'm getting to gibberish at this point. It's interesting to me that the Devil card is the only card upright in your journey. So I think really recognizing that the healing, I'm just kind of getting something right now. So I'm just trying to sit with it for a second here too. The healing journey for you isn't as obvious. And it might look like you don't even like healing. Like I'm good. Like I said, my pile threes have a certain level of comfort or success, or just like I said, they might not even be people who want to watch a pick a card reading. for whatever reason, are feeling drawn to this pile because there's something in here that might help them. This could also have been who you were. So you might have been healing from this, recognizing, and especially during times like COVID and all the years of that, there has been a really lot of pausing and reflection. So this could even have been someone who had a way of being pre the whole world changing, and post, you're really trying to figure out how you can be fully wholly yourself, and still have some security. And then having this card, Queen of Wands, vibrancy in reverse, it just kind of reminds me that you have not let your light shine fully. You might have spent a lot of time thinking the life you had was fine, and then started realizing maybe that there's really more to this, and you really haven't allowed yourself to fully open up. So once again, back to those competing priorities, I'm seeing like competing priorities with just who I think you're meant to be and how you've been living your life. And once again, I keep getting like, it's not a bad life. It's not terrible, but it's not truly fulfilling. And you may have not even asked that question before. And now you are. And I think the healing comes from recognizing that your journey might take you somewhere else. How do you downshift the way you've been? How do you let go of the way you've been so that you can welcome who you are meant to be? So with that, let's go ahead and also look at your oracle card here. Fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites extremes of life. Okay. That is ironic, isn't it? I just want to like take a closer look at this photo. It's interesting to me in this image that we have a person that's like in a cave and there's like lights coming in. Oh, and I see some beings up here, which really, it really reminds me you're not alone. You know, you're not alone. Fall into my arms being who is your support system, you know, in the physical sense, who is your support system as you go through a transition. If you're going into a transition, if you're leaving a traditional job to become an entrepreneur, you know, or doing something completely, you know, outside the box in a traditional, you know, way, you are, who's your support system? You don't just do it on your own, you do it with, this is a reminder that you're not going to do it on your own. So who are those people? Even sitting down and spending some time thinking about, okay, who are the people who I can turn to? Also, in a spiritual sense, you are not alone. You have support, you have guidance. If you connect with your spirit guides, I mean, I am always amazed with connecting with my spirit guides. And I just don't think that people understand how easy it is. And I'm going to, I feel like tonight I've put some people out of business. Now I'm just checking. But, you know, really all you need to do is just ask them. Just speak it out and say, you know, ask your spirit guides to help you feel supported, feel supported so that you can surrender. Help me feel supported so that I can see the number one priority. Help me feel supported so I can find my alignment and find the, you know, help me balance my priorities in a way that feels like it aligns to my higher purpose. You can just speak that out and just ask. Yeah, I'm always super, super amazed by how much I get guidance when I just ask for it. And nobody, no, you don't have to go through anybody to get that. You have that gift for you here now. And I just pulled another card here. We have the Five of Cups, and you're really allowing yourself to stay in that pessimistic space of the half of the water's empty and I'm missing that there is still some here. So maybe you're focused on the missed opportunities. Maybe you're focused on the lost time. You might be someone who's viewing this that might be closer to retirement and thinking, well, why would I start now? Well, you are wiser than ever now. Your healing journey does not end while you're on this physical plane. Your soul goes on to continue learning its life lessons past this lifetime. Your life lessons go on. You're like, they don't get them done in one lifetime. They go on and on until they're done. So you living your life fully and allowing the movement of your life to be without judgment is really fulfilling your soul's desire, which is just to grow and evolve and gain these experiences. For me, a practice I put in place, and it really took me a long time. I would say it's more recent that it's really become very clear to me that the more I fight my life experiences, the more I keep getting the same ones. And I want to get to the next thing. So I think allowing myself to embrace the bad things that happen or the disappointments that happen has been powerful because I've started to realize I can take what I need from them and just let go of the rest, because ultimately everything is a gift for our evolution. And you have two ways to look at it. You can see the cups that are full, or you can see the cups that are leaking out. And it's more empowering for your soul's experience to recognize what you've got from the hard things. And it's not always easy, and it's not always in the moment. But it's recognizing that there are always takeaways. And the sooner I realize that, the sooner I get to move on to the next thing and really kind of level up and get unblocked. I mean, healing your disappointment could be that could be a tool. That could be a game changer for your journey, for your soul's journey. So with that, let's go ahead and get, what else does your your soul need here? Not really surprised, but play. And you've got two dolphins on there and they're playing. And again, there's I don't know if it's a partnership so much as there's these extremes, right? And what I see is like there is a method to your healing, and that's through actually enjoying the polar opposites, enjoying your extremes, and seeing how those extremes are there to make you feel whole, and just making more room to play. My pile threes, I don't think you make enough room to play. I feel like a kind of a more serious energy, or maybe you're feeling more serious in your life now, or maybe you were and now you're moving towards more play. But I think I just feel like you might have been impacted by the last few years, and you're starting to realize that um, you're being pulled in different directions and you're not really being true to the essence of who you are. And getting back into play and being playful will tap you into more of the essence of who you are. You'll be able to access more surrendering in that space as well. Let's get some tools to help you guide you on this healing journey. Looking for a tool to help you on your healing journey. And remember, you're healing from being pulled in opposite directions, from being in conflict. You're not really tapping into your whole self and what is deep inside you. You're feeling, I just feel like my pile threes have felt conflicted and in a way where their body is moving faster than they want to be moving, Maybe that's not the way you feel you are truly deep down inside, and maybe you've not ever had a chance to explore it because you felt like, I don't know, you just kind of felt that you didn't have the space and freedom to do it. Creative space. So that's beautiful. That's so beautiful. And I love because it kind of just feels like these cards have just automatically started to shift some of the energy here. Creating space. That, it's so funny. When that card came out, I immediately thought of making creative space, like making space to be creative. But actually creating space is literally like pushing away stuff that is, intruding on your space and really making space for yourself. So that could also mean being in a creative space. Maybe because it was with, right next to this play card, my brain just went to being creative. And that might be a way for you to play and kind of access one, more space for yourself and just kind of tap into that playful energy. But it also is about pushing, and once again, with all that's happened in the last few years, really recognizing that, the space that you need, and that the way of being before maybe didn't serve you, and that creating more space for you to think, for you to meditate, for you to have a space that is yours, I think is really, really, really powerful and beautiful. I think that's going to be a really helpful tool as you heal, because you need to kind of get some space from some things in your life and get some perspective in order to enjoy the rest of this lifetime. Centered. I hold my center. Change me, divine beloved, into one who holds my center in all situations, no matter how challenging. Fill me with serenity and calm. Wrap me in your faith. It kind of seems like there's storms or there's things happening around, but you are cocooned, you are protected. You still have space, but you are still also shielded. So I love how this is coming together here. It also makes me think about fall into my arms and this wrap me in your faith. I feel like there is this connection piece here around the protection that you are going to feel both by, this divine, whoever, whatever being that is for you, that higher self, those spirit guides, archangels, whoever, God, the universe, whatever connects that feels true for you. And then there's also a sense of creating a safe space in your environment and feeling supported there. Being centered is like being grounded, right? Like you're centered, you're balanced, you're grounded. And I talked about this a lot in another pile about the center line. And so there may be a connection there to that pile, but I do think that there is this call to be to hold the space also within that center line. And really, really connect with it, really connect with what makes you feel centered. Because there's so much pulling you in different extremes. I don't know. There's a lot of this pulling you in different ways. And you have an opportunity here to find, you have an opportunity to heal from that way of being and really become your whole self, become who you want to for the remainder of your life, the remainder of this current incarnation. You really have the ability to make some choices. And it's not that the choices you have made are bad. It's just that you need to heal and kind of release what doesn't serve you anymore so that you can feel more true from the inside. So with that, thank you all for being here. My pile 3s, somehow you made it to me. Somehow you found me. Please keep in mind, this is a general reading, and keep in mind, good questions to ask is what brings me more joy in my life? How can I invite more play? Where can I create more space? Who can I feel supported by, spiritually, in the physical sense here on this earth plane? These are good things to kind of keep exploring. And that's it for now. Thank you, Pile 3s. See you soon.